Okay, I have with me Alan Mandell, and I'll first ask him to introduce himself and tell a little bit about what he does.
Hi, I'm Alan Mandell. I'm a mentor at Empire State College where I have been for, wow, almost 40 years. I've had a number of roles at the college. I started out as actually a part-time person at what was then the Lower Hudson unit, which now has become the Hudson Valley Center of Empire State College. I became Associate Dean there, went to the Metro Center as Associate Dean Director, and have had various roles, including directing what is now called the Center for Mentoring and Learning, which was for a long time the Mentoring Institute. So part of the beauty of being at Empire State College for me has had to do with playing a whole range of roles, all of which I think for me has to do with being able to respond to the needs of adult learners, those people mostly in their 30s and 40s who come to Empire State College in order to respond to usually pretty practical needs that they have. Being here at Empire State College has been fascinating for me because when I came to the college, every student was older than I was. So I had this really wonderful opportunity to learn from working adults, people who came here for quite practical reasons. And part of the beauty of the college and of working here, I think, is to continue to ask the question, how can we, in the most meaningfully, academically strong way, respond to the personal, professional, very professional, and academic needs of our students? And I think the difference between Empire State and other institutions is that, at its best, it does begin with the student. We can have courses, we can have curricula, we can have a million ideas about how to work with students. But basically, the question, what do you want to learn? What is important for you to learn right now is really at the heart of the whole thing. And that question, what do you want to learn? How can I help you? What kinds of supports do you need to make this effective? I think is what makes Empire State College distinctive. It is learner-centric at its best. And as a mentor, and I take the word to be a significant one, as a mentor, my role is to ask, how can I help a student? How can I facilitate this? How can I talk to a student sufficiently deeply to learn enough about what they want to know, why they want to know it, and how I can help? There are a million challenges in this. One is the ongoing question, can I know enough about this student to really help them in some meaningful way? So there is an ongoing process of trying to get to know a student, trying to figure out what that student is interested in. This is also a challenging place for a student because most students come having had educational experiences where they've been told what to do, where somebody has said, pick between 1 and 2, or don't pick at all. This is what you have to do. And part of what's great about Empire State College is to begin to ask a student a question. What do you want to learn? Not what do I think you should learn? What do you want to learn? What are your goals? How can I help you do this? I'd say the biggest challenge as a mentor is the authority relations between a teacher and a student shift in many, many ways. Yes, of course, as a mentor, as a faculty mentor, we know things. We're hoping to help students based on what we know. However, there is always this moment of not knowing, of saying, whoa, this student has asked a question. I haven't thought about this before. How can I do this? How can I get a student to begin to talk about what that student's interest is? And how can I, in an honest, direct way, help that student begin to learn what it is he or she needs to learn. There's a kind of ethics of this for me. The ethics is a kind of deep respect for a student. I think there's a kind of a fantasy that a student would necessarily come to Empire State College and say, I want to design the most distinctive, unbelievably distinctive, personalized degree in the universe. And then there's another student who could come to us and say, my greatest fantasy is to get a degree in accounting. My desire is to try to respond to that student, whatever it is his or her interests really are. How can I do this? How can I find a way in? How can I help a student begin to kind of excavate what it is that that person is interested in? I think our students are practical. Our students want answers. Our students want to get the support they need. And I think our role is to see if we can do that. Many years ago, I did a session, I think with some colleagues, having to do with the idea of beginning anew. Part of the challenge at Empire State College is you have a student, that person is either with you on the phone, on an email, whatever the context, and the question is, yikes, I'm starting over. I'm starting over. Yes, as a mentor, there's a kind of a repertoire of things I have, but how can I start over with some very, very basic questions that will help that student try to make this educational journey his or her own? For many of our students, Empire State College is a last effort. They've had school, they've had professional experience, they've done myriad things in their lives, they've been involved in their community, been involved at work, but here is their chance for themselves to pull things together that they may have started 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And if we can help them, support them in doing it, it's a wonderful, wonderful experience for us, and hopefully a meaningful one for our students as well.
Great, thank you very much.